Creationists like to say that organisms have the physiology they do because it serves a purpose. And of course, purposes are things that minds have. Therefore, these organisms were designed by mind that gave them the features they have to serve the purposes they do. However, it isn't really accurate to speak of organs and physiological processes as having purposes in this sense. For example, it's not quite correct to say that the stomach produces acid for the purpose of digestion. Rather, it's more appropriate to say that the production of stomach acid has the result of digestion. Your stomach does not produce acid with a goal in mind. Organisms do not have the features they do to serve the purpose of survival and reproduction. Rather, they have the features they do because they result in survival and reproduction, or at least don't hinder them enough to result in extinction. Whenever mutation produces features which do hinder survival and reproduction, this feature goes extinct. It will not stay in the gene pool for very long. The fact that a feature has a consequence or a result is not good evidence that the feature exists to fulfill some conscious purpose of bringing about that result. Natural selection acts like a filter. Some mutations result in genetic configurations that can pass through that filter, and other mutations do not. To say that an organism has the features it does in order to serve the purpose of survival is like saying that the reason why particles small enough to pass through a literal filter are that small in order to serve the purpose of passing through the filter. There is no reason to assume that some conscious entity gave animals their beaks and claws to serve the purpose of their survival, and there is no reason to assume a conscious entity made some particles really small to serve the purpose of passing through filters. It is silly to assume conscious agency in either case. Creationists make the same error when they talk about the supposed fine-tuning of the universe. They infer that since the properties of our universe resulted in our existence, and since these properties fall within a very narrow range of properties that can result in our existence, these properties therefore exist to fulfill the purpose of our existence. Since the properties that the universe has seem to be very improbable, I think it stands to reason that there is some as yet undetected factor which either necessitates that the universe has the properties it does, or at least to some degree mitigates the improbability of the universe having the properties it does. However, the idea that this factor is likely an all-powerful, all-knowing, all-loving, disembodied mind is not a hypothesis I consider to be reasonable.